Hello and welcome to VNA and Hospice of the Southwest Region's Tree of Remembrance service. My name is Colin Terenzini. I am the spiritual coordinator as well as the bereavement counselor here with Hospice. And tonight you will hear firsthand testimony from someone who received care, support, and comfort from the VNA staff. You'll hear her story as she walked through it with her husband. Not only that, you'll hear music by our very own Trillium Chorus. You'll hear names, you'll see ornaments go up, and we do this all to mourn the loss of the loved ones that have died on our services in the last year. And if you are one of the families at home that may be watching this that is mourning today, I would encourage you to light a candle or to take some time for yourself tonight during the Tree of Remembrance service.
Thank you for attending this year's Hospice Virtual Memorial Service. I am Alan Eisman, the Hospice Medical Director. On behalf of all of us, please let us together thank our entire hospice team, nurse practitioners, nurses aides, social workers, spiritual coordinators, bereavement counselors, volunteers, and especially all of those who work in our hospice office. We couldn't do it without them. And this year especially, let us thank our steadfast and visionary home care director, Ron Chaffee. Over these many years, Ron has provided perseverance through hard times and unparalleled leadership, which has sustained us individually and as an organization. With Ron at the helm, our hospice organization has realized its vision and fulfilled our mission, something we work to ensure every day. We strive to provide the highest quality, consistent, reliable, and highly personal hospice services for our community. Ron has always understood that one of the strengths of any community is measured by how it cares for its most vulnerable, those in medical need, and especially those at the end of life. Ron, we can't thank you enough for all of your time, hard work, and especially your good humor. I also want to give special recognition to our hospice aides, nurses, and nurse manager who work tirelessly on a truly 24/7 schedule. They support our patients, families, and their caregivers, treating each and every one of them with respect and dignity. They make our patients and their families feel like they are a member of an extended family, not just a client receiving a scheduled service. Although we have not been able to provide volunteer services or in-person Trillium singers since the COVID pandemic began back in March, we look forward to a time when we will again utilize these essential and vibrant community members who have always given so much of their love and time to us all. Hospice is about many things, but it is especially about dignity and time. By definition, hospice patients have limited time, and often because of this, the quality of each day, each interaction can take on special importance. In the hospice realm, we acknowledge that an event, an anniversary, holiday, a graduation, a wedding, a birth, might be the last one experienced of its type. And so we on the hospice team do our best to understand the big and small moments, working our hardest to enhance the quality of every day. We recognize our patients today by saying their names. Here in this memorial service, we say the names of those who have died in the past year. We say their names out loud, clearly, distinctly, and individually. What better way to recall their importance and our memory of each of these individuals? Maybe they had a nickname or a special way a friend or family member referred to them. By saying a name, we recognize each person in this simple but dignified style of remembrance, each one an individual with a life, a story, contributions, and a name. I hope the memory of each loved one lost this year and any loved one remembered at this time will be a blessing to you and your family. For all of us, I hope for a healthy and safe holiday season. Let's stay careful, remembering to protect ourselves and each other. Together, we will get through this.
We come together as a community to celebrate the lives while also mourn the losses of the wonderful individuals that have passed this past year. So many of these names that I see on the list are patients that I have laughed with, or maybe even cried with. These names bring me back to families that have opened the doors to allowing myself, as well as the entire VNA staff, to come in and be a part of this journey with them. And for that, we are eternally grateful. I think about the scripture, Psalm 23. A lot of that is what I've read at the bedside of the patients that have passed. And so I thought it would be fitting for me to read it tonight, where it says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever." During my journey here as the hospice chaplain, I have found some great coping mechanisms, one of which is poetry. I've heard this poem time and time again, and it's by Ellen Brenneman, but I thought it was important for me to read tonight. Don't think of him as gone away, his journey's just begun. Life holds so many facets, this earth is only one. Just think of him as resting from the sorrows and the tears, in a place of warmth and comfort where there are no days and years. Think how he must be wishing that we could know today how nothing but our sadness can really pass away. And think of him as living in the hearts of those he touched, for nothing loved is ever lost, and he was loved so much.
My name is Charlene Eddy, and I've been utilizing hospice services for 11 months. My husband was placed on hospice services as of January when he received a diagnosis of his metastatic cancer that was very aggressive, and was told by his oncologist that there was no further treatment available. So the option was given to select to be on hospice services, and that's what he decided and we decided, and we've invited hospice into our home. And from then on, we've had care up until now. Nursing service was involved initially and weekly, and then more frequently as time progressed, to assess the needs, his medical needs, and also his need for ongoing pain medication to help control his excruciating pain. That was done with nursing, always in conversation with the oncologist who ordered the medications. And the ultimate goal was to provide quality of care and quality of life, and that's what hospice has done for him. Also, besides nursing, there was the home care aide that would come in weekly, again invited into our home, and would provide the hygiene part, and also did its skin assessments, which is very important to maintain skin integrity. So if there was a problem, the home care aide would talk to the nurse, and a treatment would be started so that the skin integrity could be maintained. Another service that was very helpful and very welcoming was the occupational therapist. Came in weekly to demonstrate and to explain the use of equipment for home care. And the ultimate purpose was for safety in the home. And it was always done in a very caring way and an understandable way that made sense to my husband. And for that, we were very grateful. And also information provided by the occupational therapists so that independence could be maintained by my husband throughout this whole time, and that was comforting. It made him feel good. There's also hospice has physical therapists, again, who are professional and knowledgeable, as are the rest of these people that are on this team. My husband didn't happen to need that, but they do have that service also for those who need them. Another important aspect of service has been the social worker that visited weekly to come in and discuss socioeconomic needs or to alleviate any apprehension that we may have had from issues that maybe she could help us with. So again, that was comforting. And another aspect of the care is the emotional and spiritual part of the patient's needs, and that also is given with the okay and permission of the patient for the chaplain to come in and speak. Things get to be a little frightening or a little scary, and so to alleviate again some apprehension and just come in and talk was very comforting. Also, we had a volunteer would come in weekly, which is a great program. So it gets away from all the medical and the needs of the patient, which are essential, but then the social part, someone to come in and just talk. It happened to be for my husband, someone he knew, which was very comforting. And they went to a youth group together when they were younger, so that was good. But the other part of it is he looked forward to that visit. They could, read, talk, listen to music, play chess, play cards, or again, just talking with someone that he knew was coming weekly was very, again, comforting. Another program that hospice has is their volunteer coordinator comes into the home, again, with the permission of the patient. And if the patient wants to do this, we'll make a CD with a volunteer technician coming in and audio taping whatever the patient may want to say. For my husband, being the nature person that he was and an outgoing hunter and fisherman, he always spoke about stories that he told our grandkids, our 4 grandkids, when they stayed overnight. He would tell them a story about his job or about the hunting, fishing, and they're on a CD. And all of this is well put together with the Trillium Singers, which is another part of the hospice volunteer group of people that prior to COVID would go to your home and sing to the patient, or go to your other house of residence if you were in a nursing home or other level of care. So it was very well put together. So again, a comforting service. Another service is the Dinners with Love, which is participating restaurants have entrees. They'll call you on a certain day. You can pick an entree that you would like, and a volunteer from hospice will pick it up and bring it. And for all these services, they always let you know what time they're coming, or if they're going to be late. So that meant a lot. So that service was also one of the things that we look forward to. So for that. We thank them. Sadly, my husband passed away on February 14th of 2020. My husband's passing was sad for me and for my family. But again, hospice has been there for us. I received, about a month after my husband passed, a brochure in the mail from hospice talking about grief and loss, and a beautiful poem which was very comforting to read. But on the bottom, it was handwritten, was stating, if we can help you in any way, or if you need to talk to somebody, please give us a call, and the number was there. That was comforting to see that, but I thought that I possibly didn't need that right now. But the next brochure that I got was 2 or 3 weeks later, and again, there were talking about the grief process and hope. And they also had 7 signs of grief. And when I looked at it, I had 4 of them. So I got the courage to call. I think it's not a weakness to ask for help. And so getting that courage, I did call, and thinking that, oh, I possibly will hear in a few days, or maybe the next week. I got a call within 2.5 hours, and I talked to the hospice grief counselor, and we chatted on the phone for a while, and an appointment was set up for a 1-to-1 sessions, which I've been receiving, which have been therapeutic for me. One thing I've learned is working through grief. You have to work through it. You can't work around it. You can't kick it under the rug and say it won't be there, because you've lost someone that meant a lot to you. And it's been good. Also, the grief counselor, who is also hospice chaplain, has started up a bereavement meeting, which is a weekly meeting at the hospice building in Rutland. And the commonality of the people that go there, of course with COVID, we had the COVID protocols in place, so we all have masks and they're the 6 feet distance. The commonality is that we have all experienced a loss, whether it's a spouse, a parent, a sibling, or a child, and to be able to go there and express your feelings and know that other people are feeling what you're feeling, and to have your feelings validated by the facilitator, who is the chaplain and the grief counselor for a hospice, makes it so much easier for us to go there. But right now, with COVID, it's being put on virtual for the moment, so hopefully that those can be reinstituted when COVID protocols improve and we're kind of back to normal. So for those services, I just would like to say thank you to hospice for being professional, knowledgeable, kind, and caring, not only to my husband, but to me. I would also like to recognize the director of hospice, the clinical coordinator, and the secretary back in the office, because all of these services are a team effort, and their goal is to provide quality of care for the quality of life for the patient, and that certainly was obvious with their care. And I know that there are other recipients of hospice who feel the same way, so On behalf of them and myself, I want to say to the hospice team that in order for you to provide quality of care, you have to be quality, and you are quality. Thank you. Thank you for what you do. And as I say, for being there and being there for us. Thank you.
We're now going to transition our time into the reading of names and the hanging of ornaments. Now, each ornament that is hung represents one person that was on our services that has died. Bernard Benoit. Fernand Benoit. Edward Bostrom. Betty Buffum. Barbara Burns. Bill Cadwell. Janice Cadwell. Mars Carl. Peter Sorelli. Marie Clifford. Violet Day. Edward Dunn. Esther Dunn. Ronald Eddy. Catherine Fish. Irene Forrest. Marcia Goddard. Bill Gould. Barbara Hanson. Donald Hanson. Douglas Haskins. Barbara Heaton. Ronald Heaton. Joanne Hennick. Patricia Horton. Robert Horton. Ray Jepson. Marletta Ann LaPlante. Frederick Donald LaPlante, Jr. Robert Paul Laramie. Sadie Laramie. Doris Markey. Carl Mary. Janet Martin. John Martin. Patricia Mikulski. Matthew Mikulski. Peter Milnes. Pascal Mondella. Ralph Morse. Evelyn Poro. Lawrence Poro. Linda Poro. William Reardon Dale, Rob. Helen, Chappie. Michael, John, Shaw. Kenneth, Sherman. Charmaine, Slade. Joseph Spakowski. John Walsh, Jr. Margaret Ann Webster. Calvin Wise. And now my encouragement, my charge to those families that are facing their one-year milestone, trying to plan, trying to coordinate, and doing all this while feeling the pains of grief. Just as we saw with this tree of remembrance, when we first started, it was bare. But after time and after people's help, we have a full tree. And so I encourage you, seek out someone that would listen, that would be a hand of support. Don't walk past your grief. Don't try to sidestep it, but walk through your grief. It'll be the hardest journey ever, but I promise there will be a reward at the end of it. It's worth it, and you still have a purpose. Thank you.